President Biden has finally formally announced his reelection campaign, setting the stage for a rematch with Donald Trump in 2024. Intrigued? Then click that like and subscribe and enjoy the video. All right, folks, it's official. Joe Biden has finally formally announced that he is running for a second term in 2024. And whether we like it or not, despite his legal woes, despite his political baggage, Donald Trump is the Republican frontrunner for the Republican nomination. So right now, the stage is set for a Biden-Trump rematch in 2024. Didn't go well for Trump last time. Most polling indicates it won't go well for him this time either. So I guess it's good news for Biden, even though the vast majority of Americans say that they do not want a rematch between the current president and the former president. And even most Democrats, if you look at polling, consistently would prefer President Biden to not run for re-election. But the cold, hard political truth is there's really no viable alternative. The incumbency advantage for a sitting president is not overwhelming, right? Especially if you're a Republican president and, you are concerned with culture war takes and not getting things done. We saw that with President Trump, right? But it's a huge advantage. And President Biden has a strong legislative history that he can, prop up to say, listen, whether you like me or not, whether or not I'm popular or not, I've gotten things done, impressive things under the circumstances. Anyway, there are going to be tons of videos about this from me and others included. I definitely want to look at his re-election video, his campaign video that he dropped this morning. It's extremely good, all right? And I think he makes a fairly compelling case despite the numerous political headwinds working against him. So let's take a look at what President Biden has to say about running for a second term.
Freedom, personal freedom, is fundamental to who we are as Americans.
There's nothing more important, nothing more sacred.
That's been the work of my first term, to fight for our democracy.
This shouldn't be a red or blue issue.
To protect our rights, to make sure that everyone in this country is treated equally and that everyone is given a fair shot at making it. But around the country, MAGA extremists are lining up to take on those bedrock freedoms, cutting Social Security that you paid for your entire life while cutting taxes for the very wealthy, dictating what healthcare decisions women can make, banning books, and telling people who they can love, all while making it more difficult for you to be able to vote. When I ran for president 4 years ago, I said we're in a battle for the soul of America, and we still are. The question we're facing is whether in the years ahead we have more freedom or less freedom, more rights or fewer. I know what I want the answer to be, and I think you do too. This is not a time to be complacent. That's why I'm running for re-election. Because I know America. I know we're good and decent people. I know we're still a country that believes in honesty and respect and treating each other with dignity. That we're a nation where we give hate no safe harbor. We believe that everyone is equal, that everyone should be given a fair shot to succeed in this country.
Thank you for choosing us.
Every generation of Americans has faced a moment when they have to defend democracy. Stand up for our personal freedom. Stand up for the right to vote and our civil rights. And this is our moment.
We, the people, and not decide.
So if you're with me, go to joebiden.com and sign up. Let's finish this job. I know we can. Because this is the United States of America. There's nothing, simply nothing we cannot do if we do it together.
It was excellent. It really was. So there's been reporting over the past several weeks that the Biden White House, the Biden campaign, was going to leverage its connections with TikTok influencers and Gen Z, because obviously Gen Z is much more progressive than previous generations. They're leaning against conservatives. They're leaning against the Republican Party. And they're obviously very social savvy. They're very messaging savvy. And I feel like you can see the fingerprints of not just Washington establishment on this particular advertisement, but also the influence of Gen Z and TikTok influencers as well, with the pacing and the shots, the emphasis of diversity. And, obviously, this is the first of many videos, I'm sure, the first of many appearances on behalf of President Biden. So it's not like he went through his, again, prodigious, extremely impressive list of legislative and executive accomplishments, which, again, is remarkable, the best since President Johnson, Lyndon B. Johnson, especially when you consider the slim margins that President Biden has had to work with. But he really emphasized rhetorically freedom, right, which is something that the right and the Republican Party rhetorically, they try to lean in. The Republican Party says, we're the party of freedom, even though they're also the party of telling you who you can and cannot marry, what health care you can and cannot have, all these things, making it harder to vote. So I thought it was interesting here that President Biden, a Democrat, is leaning not into necessarily equity or things that, we would typically expect to be associated with the progressive movement, which, by the way, are very, 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 very important. He's actually almost like reclaiming notions of like freedom and patriotism. You see how he says that, I believe in America. I know America. We're a fundamentally decent people. We believe in honesty and respect. He's taking like a patriotic tenor, right? He's not shaming America. He's not criticizing America, even though there's plenty to criticize in our past and present. He's almost saying like, look, these things, these buzzwords that we associate with the Republican Party, they actually don't belong to the Republican Party. In fact, the Republican Party really sucks at actually living these values, at least the Republican leadership. So we're going to take them back. The Republican Party isn't the Freedom Party. My God, they're a fascist authoritarian party. They're banning books and critical race theory and things like that. Any uncomfortable conversations about slavery, which, by the way, are based in fact. All these things, they're not the party of freedom. They don't want to make it easier for you to vote. They don't want to make it easier for you to, have health care and to exercise your health care options, all these things. So I think it was very good that, over time, he'll be able to lean into his record, his, personal politics. But in this one, he's basically making the case, look, I'm this old-fashioned, kind of bipartisan, nice, jovial, avuncular guy. And you know what? I believe in freedom. I believe in working America. I believe in celebrating our successes, and again, like he definitely leaned in terms of the iconography or whatnot, the fact that he polls very well with the black community. Ketanji Brown Jackson, the Supreme Court Justice, a phenomenal nominee that President Biden was able to get to the bench. She was front and center in this as well. You saw a lot of shots of working class Americans, leaning into Biden's, Scranton working class background. So again, this is all really, really good. It's an effective message, by far superior to anything to come out of the Republican Party, including Donald Trump. So anyway, it's not certain. And Biden's got a lot working against him, relatively low approval ratings, right, in the upper 30s, low 40s. If you look at the aggregate, he's got a Republican opposition that's going for broke. They are pulling out all the stops. They will do everything in their power, lie, cheat, and steal to try to stop him from winning re-election. And again, you have razor-thin margins, certainly in the Senate. We lost the House. So it's going to be a tough battle. But I'll remind everybody, even despite this, despite the fact that he's an imperfect candidate, despite the odds, Republicans have failed the last three elections. They failed with Trump in 2020. They lost the Senate in 2020 as well. The midterm elections in November was not a red wave. It was like a pinkish trickle at best. So even with somebody like Joe Biden, who again is imperfect and has his vulnerabilities, I think the Republican Party should be hella nervous after they see a video like this. Let me know what you think.
Hey you! Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, and I hope that you did, please hit the like and subscribe buttons below. And if you absolutely hated the video, the best revenge for you is also to hit the like and subscribe buttons below. That'll teach me. If you want to share an opinion or share some feedback, go ahead and leave a comment, all right? 2023 is a year of change, hence the aggressive rebrand and commitment to new content. Inspired by my friends Luke Beasley and STV Philly, my personal goal for this channel is to hit 40,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So I'm hoping you'll do me a solid by spreading the word and the videos to potential fans and hate watchers alike. And in the meantime, we'll be pondering politics again with you very soon.